الحمد لله.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. I'm joined with Karina Clark. You guys can check her out on Instagram. She's awesome. We met on Instagram, and alhamdulillah, she even bought a rosely hijab recently as well. That's how we like properly met. No, you didn't buy one. Sorry, we sent you one for free because you're a new Muslim. Alhamdulillah.
I'm Karina. I'm 38. I'm originally from Blackpool. Only recently found Islam, or started looking into it. It was just by chance, really.
Were you religious before you became Muslim? Did you have a religion? What was going on there?
So I was born a Christian, and I went to Sunday school as a child, studied Bible, and growing up in growing up going to Sunday school, I was the child that always questioned things that didn't quite sit right with me. So whenever we were doing studies on the New Testament, there was lots of things that didn't sit right with me, and I was the one that got told to shut up, ask the questions later, and then I'd never get to ask them again. It was always I'd get shot down, and I'd be like, but why? It just doesn't sit right with me. But the Old Testament, I used to love reading those stories as a child. The stories of Abraham and Moses and Joseph, and I just loved them all, and the lessons that they learned, that they taught us. But growing up, I kind of lost that faith, and I think it was more to do with the contradictions that I was struggling with. And I kind of moved towards the spiritual side of things, so like meditating and being in nature. And I always felt there was always a creator. I always had that feeling there. And I even went as far as into paganism. So I was pagan for quite a long time. My ex-partner, he was pagan, and even though it was a way of worshipping nature, it still didn't feel right to me. It's still like, what there's something that's missing here. Yes, be thankful for everything in the world, but it didn't really feel like I was with the right kind of outlook. It was really strange. It was I was detached, but I wanted to be a part of something that was right, that was truthful. And I did try and go back to reading the Bible again, and again the same questions came up today as they did when I was a child. The contradictions, how there's 4 gospels but they're all different stories, and about one person, about one prophet, peace be upon him, and it just didn't sit with me. So I did become kind of atheist for a while as well, and yeah, it's been quite a journey, really.
Okay, so how did you go to becoming Muslim? Like, what was your opinion of Islam, and how did that change? How did you become Muslim?
Well, my opinion of Islam was like anybody else's. Blackpool is a very small seaside town with hardly any Muslim community. The Muslim community that is there is very separated. They're very insular, so they keep themselves to themselves. And the only time you'd see a niqab or a hijab would be on the beach when the families are on holiday in the summer holidays, and then they go home again. So you never really had that interaction with Muslims in Blackpool. The only kind of knowledge you got was from the media. And I, like everybody else, had that media rhetoric where, Islam is dangerous, it's extremist, and to be honest with you, I fell in that loop of media rhetoric. I really did. It was quite scary looking back on the thoughts that I used to have towards Muslims and Islam.
Wow.
But moving to the Midlands, I work for a big company in Birmingham. I'm working in a big office. I started to meet Muslims, be friends with them, talk to them. During Ramadan, I was asking questions, why do you fast? And I started to think, a lot of this is actually making sense, you know. And did I actually know anything about Islam? Did I actually really know or understand anything? And I was walking through Birmingham city centre one day, and there was people with the free translation of the Quran. And I don't know, don't ask me how or why. I just walked up and asked for a copy. And you know, mashallah, it was from then that I started slowly reading the Quran. And I was also watching, I want to travel. I've always wanted to travel. And unfortunately, a past relationship I was in was quite a volatile one. And we could never go abroad. It was always staycation, no vacation. And I was watching these travel guides on YouTube, and there's one guy that stands out for me, and that's an American guy with an Italian passport called Peter Santinello. And I liked him because it wasn't your typical package holiday, come and see this place, it's amazing. He would go to the darkest corners of India and the slums and show you what life is like. He would go to the mountains of Pakistan and then to Peshawar to see the old city and show you what life and culture is like. The one thing that did it for me was when he went to Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
And he showed women driving, and he showed a business where it's female entrepreneurs that have their businesses online, and they're selling things all over the world. And walking down the street, he goes into a Starbucks, and as he walks out, a man goes, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going into the city." "Jump in the car, get in with me." You know, I'm thinking, these people aren't terrorists. These people aren't extremists. Yes, they may have had some bad press, but I need, something was making me want to learn more. And that's when I started to watch other videos on YouTube.
How are they reacting? People like your family, your friends, how are they reacting about your conversion?
My sister, I'm going to speak to one of my sisters. The other sister I don't really speak to, but my eldest sister, she's always, whatever makes you happy, that's fine. But she had her reservations, and understandably, because again, it's lack of knowledge and understanding, and seeing what the media puts out there, especially up in the Northwest. It's had such a bad impact with regards to Asian grooming gangs, extremist views, and that kind of stuff sticks. It doesn't go easily, especially when it's pointed towards a marginalized group of people. And that's all they know. They don't see how Muslim communities will go out and feed the homeless. They don't see how they will come together and make sure that people have food on the table, or if a friend down the road is really suffering and really poorly, they will do errands for them and they will help them, because that's what the religion teaches you to do, is to be grateful for what you have and also give to those that are more needy than you. And people don't see that. People don't see that in Pakistan. If you go over there as a visitor, they won't let you pay for anything because you're their guest.
Yeah.
You know, they don't see that in Turkey when you go and visit people, that they will invite you into their home and give you tea. You know, in Saudi Arabia, you can get a lift off somebody into the town centre that you've never even met before. They don't see this side of the culture, of the different places where Islam is prominent. They just see what the news says. There's been a bombing, the Taliban are on the rise again. You know, Hamas in Palestine are firing rockets at Israel. You know, that's all they see. They don't see the beautiful side of people who are Muslim. And she has her doubts about it. But then I've had a lot of hate as well on Facebook from old friends.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like what
I used to be a bouncer. I used to be a door woman in Blackpool. So I used to work in the bars, and that's a very white male dominated industry. And these people that I used to work with suddenly changed. As soon as they saw me in hijab, they changed. And people are saying, block them, delete them. And I said, no, because if I block and delete these people, how can I ever tell them how beautiful Islam is and show them how beautiful it is? If I block them, then they'll never learn, they'll never change, they'll never see how somebody can grow into such a beautiful religion. So it has been hard. Work have been very supportive. I've got a couple of friends at work who have been there for me through this journey and supported me and helped me, which has been such a blessing, and people from all over the country. So yeah, it's kind of been good, but also very strange. The strangest thing for me was facing Islamophobia for the first time.
Wow.
As a white British woman. And the reason why it upset me so much is because all I need to do is take this off.
Yeah.
And nobody would say anything bad about me.
Crazy, right?
It's so crazy.
All of a sudden you're going into a minority, and us being brought up, we're white, you know, we have white supremacy. Like we're taught that we're more superior because of our skin color, which is wrong. It's completely wrong. No one is more superior than another person just because of the color of the skin. It's ridiculous. But like going from, you know, having that kind of people treating you with more respect just because you've got white skin, but then all of a sudden they're putting you in the box of, it's crazy, because for the first time in your life you actually understand what people are talking about when people say Black Lives Matter, and you're like, you know, you're saying, yeah, Black lives do matter, but you don't actually understand until you have somebody attack you because of your religion or your race or your. So what happened with the Islamophobia?
It was very hard to take in.
Yeah.
I was hurt, obviously. It was hurtful what was said. A few people obviously made some positive comments against it and, you know, stuck up for what I was doing at the time. And I just sat and thought to myself, I've had a couple of instances of Islamophobia. How must it feel for those who've had to live with it all their lives, who've had to be scared of wearing hijab in case somebody attacks them, to be scared of going to the masjid in their thobe in case somebody attacks them verbally or physically, or, you know, and it put things massively into perspective for me and made me look back on my behavior in the past and think, I used to contribute to that. And it was so hard. It was a massive realization for me.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I wish you luck in everything, and I hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you and brings you goodness in this life and the next, inshallah.
Thank you so much for talking to me, and may you be blessed and your family be blessed, inshallah. Ameen.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Alhamdulillah.